extra awesome and put your hands together for Becca Wanta. On today's video, we get to find out how the Minnesota Vikings helped somebody hide something from their parents.
That's not a casual piercing. That's like bookmarking an emo phase.
Hello and welcome to the Madison Story Slam YouTube channel. I am Adam Rosted, your host. On today's video, we've got Becca Wanta telling us all about her decision to get some piercings. I believe they're called angel piercings, and it's really a story about how she tried to hide them from her parents. And she had the help of the Minnesota Vikings, as I said at the beginning of the video. And it's a wonderful story. So here is Becca.
So I'm going to tell a story about New Year's Day. About 5-ish years ago, I was 18 years old on winter break, back from home after my first semester from college. So all my high school friends were together, and you know the problems that causes. So we all decided the day after New Year's Eve that we were going to go to Starship Tattoo and Piercing in Greenfield, Wisconsin for their buy one, get one free piercing deal. I was not a piercing person at the time. No tattoos, maybe one piercing on each earlobe. Not crazy. But everybody's like, yeah, like the deals. Like, we have no money. So 7 or 8 of us all go to Starship, and we're in there, and I'm getting pumped because for the past few months I was like, yeah, I might get angel bites. That's not a casual piercing. That's like bookmarking an emo phase. So I was like, yeah, I'd get angel bites. Not ever seriously going to do that. But it was buy one, get one free day. And so I was like, yeah, I'll get my angel bites this day. Like, buy one, get one. Angel bites are the opposite of snake bites. So it's one piercing here, one piercing here. And so we get there, there's about 7 or 8 of us, and we're just in this kind of piercing lounge, and I started to realize how real it is, and I'm just like, ugh. I'm one of 5 siblings, directly in the middle, so I'm inclined to not rock the boat, so I was like, oh, my parents won't like this, and I start hesitating, and my friends start to notice, and they're like, no, we drove here, we're all getting piercings, some people are adding their buy one, get one. I was the perfect example of the ultimate buy one, get one. So I was peer pressured into this. I had been talking about it for a while, but regardless. So I'm sitting in the piercer's chair, and oh my gosh, just for a moment, feel your lip. It's thick. It hurt. So I got it, and I distinctly, all I remember from that moment, I got them pierced, is as the piercer was holding my lip out, because they pull your lip out, you look ridiculous. I had 2 friends in the room with me, because that's all they allowed, and I was like, I need support. And so I'm sitting in there, pierce one, and I was like, I just remember them pulling, oh, awful. So we get to round 2. And I'm like, okay, it's done. I'm feeling badass. I'm just like, okay, I did this. This is great. I go to the mirror, and it really sets in. I'm like, I'm going to have to go home with this. I live with my parents. This is break after first year of college. I've been there a week so far. I have 3 more to go. So I'm just like, wow, okay, looking and they do the big bars, so they stick out a little bit because you're swollen, you're red, it's so ugly. And so I look in the mirror, and I'm like, we need to take one out. And have you ever just felt a collective eye roll? All 3 people in the room with me were like, oh my God. Peer pressure was one thing, the sale pressure was another thing. I love a good sale. Now the buy one, get one didn't even matter. I took one of them out, so now I just have a misplaced Monroe. And so I leave the store. Everybody has their piercings. I'm just like, awesome. This is great. I have 1 piercing now. This is manageable. And then I'm driving home alone, and I'm just like, how am I actually going to go home with this? My parents are not into piercings, tattoos, unnaturally colored hair, all that sort of thing. So I'm just like, ugh. But then, like an epiphany, on Christmas, I had gotten a gift from my boyfriend at the time of a gift that wasn't actually suited to me. I don't know why he got me it, because it's not something I would normally wear, but it was a Vikings yarn hat with a beard attached to it. Whatever you're picturing, that's it. Like, it was huge red yarn beard with a mustache, perfectly placed, and this hat with the horns. And so I had that in my car as I was driving home, and I put it on. It was perfect. It fit perfectly. I was like, okay, this will work. And I wore it for 2 weeks at my house, so paralyzed by disappointing my mom, the mere thought of disappointing my mom. I wore that. I ate dinner in between the yard lips. It was so much that, and it wasn't even a me thing. My mom was like, why? Why are you doing it? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I just love it. And so, wore it for about 2 weeks, nonstop, around my parents. And then finally it gets to me. I just feel, one, it's been on too long. The piercing's irritated. It has not seen air. I need this off. And then it was just getting to me. So, looking back, I had 1 week to go. Could have just 1 week to go, and then I would have gone back some other time, could have healed, whatever. But I go downstairs one night, and my mom and my stepdad, they're watching TV. It's just a chill, January night, and I walk downstairs in my Viking hat and beard, and I was like, Mom, Rich, I need to talk to you. And they're like, what? And I, dramatically take off my Viking beard and hat, and I'm just like, I got a piercing. And they're like, what? It doesn't look good. It is a misplaced Monroe. It's right here, too close to your lip. You're like, what are you doing? So one, they're not into the piercing. Then I'm like, no. I had two. I took one out, and then they were a little more irritated. They're like, wait, so that's why you were wearing that? Anyways, all the pieces fit together finally. I defiantly wore the piercing for a few more months. It did not look good, mind you. I eventually took it out. Thoroughly washed and donated the hat. So somebody has no idea the history behind that magical disguise. Yeah, so that is my peer pressure and how I coped with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Becca. I also had a lip piercing at one point in my life. I know, it's hard to believe. Who said, oh my God?
I know, you're right.
Yeah.